Hello and welcome back to GradLife, the YouTube series where I talk about my life post-graduation. When you leave university, money is a big deal and it can be a big issue for a lot of people. When you're a university student, you have your student loan, you may have parental help, and you just generally have the excuse of being a university student as a reason for being bad with money. So one of the first steps to becoming an adult is to get on top of your finances. Here are my top 5 tips of getting them in order. Sorting your debt in order of priority. Okay, so students accrue debt, and that is a completely normal thing to happen during your degree. Most people have a student overdraft and they use it during their degree for various reasons. I personally didn't use mine during my degree. I actually used it when I had already graduated, and I used it to facilitate my move to London for the job I was getting. Now, once you've got a job and your income is a bit steadier, get rid of the debt as soon as possible. This has to be a top priority. You don't want it looming over your head as you go off into life. So pay off your credit cards in order of interest rate and look at when your student overdraft will stop being interest free and plan accordingly. If paying off this short-term debt starts affecting your health or just seems unattainable, speak to people you know, speak to Citizens Advice, and don't be afraid to ask for some help. Student loans aren't a debt to worry about. On the back of that, student loans from the student loan company are nothing to worry about. The repayments to your student loan get taken out of your paycheck like a tax. You don't see it, you have nothing to do with it, it doesn't affect your credit score or your ability to get a mortgage. Just make sure that the student loan company have up-to-date contact information for yourself and you know what repayment plan you are, it's 1 or 2, then go live your life. Budgeting when bills aren't included. When you're a student, budgeting is a given. Well, or maybe not, you do you. Budgeting after graduation is really good insight as to how your priorities are starting to change now you have a larger monthly income. Just take an hour of your life, sit down with a notepad and figure out what is coming into your account every month and what is going out of your account every month. Once you've done that exercise, and if you've cleared down the short-term debt I mentioned in part 1, come up with a 3-month emergency fund worth of money. I personally use a combination of Monzo, Money Dashboard, and just a basic Excel spreadsheet to keep on top of my finances. Monzo is a bank that has a very sophisticated smartphone app that I use on an everyday basis. It sorts my money into various pots. So as soon as I get paid, Monzo essentially takes that money and puts it into all these pots for various savings. So I have Christmas savings, holiday savings, and house savings, and all that happens automatically and I don't have to think about it. Money Dashboard is a really great app that consolidates all of your accounts and puts all of the information into one nice little area. It brings your bank account and your credit cards and your store accounts and just puts them all into one place and tags all your transactions, and it just makes it easier to have an overview of all of your money rather than having it split off in all various places. And my Excel spreadsheet is just something I use to plan for long-term financial goals. Easy investing. So part of adulting is having your money work for you. This is something that requires a bit of research, but becoming money literate is incredibly important. I personally used Being an Adult, which is an amazing book of just how to be an adult in general. I literally bought all my friends a copy of this book for Christmas last year. And then also You're Not Broke, You're Pre-Rich is a book entirely on how to become money literate. And it's incredibly easy to read and I can't recommend it enough. But all that aside, the easiest way I found to start investing was to use an app called Wealthsimple. Wealthsimple is an app that you can start with as little as £10 a month, or even just £10, just put £10 in it and leave it. It essentially opens a stocks and shares ISA in your name, and then you fill in a questionnaire and the app watches the stock market for you and invests accordingly. You're probably underpaid. Here's how to fix it. When you first graduate, you may fall into the trap of companies looking to hire cheap talent. And now this is something I did simply because I didn't know any better. And I was always working under this promise that the better my technical skills became, the more money I would earn. And that didn't really happen as autonomously as I would like it to have. So I ended up working a very technical job for minimum wage, which is not okay. In the end, getting pay raises for me ended up just being a lot of badgering on my part because I wanted to eat something other than pasta. Just don't be afraid to ask for more money. That sounds really simple, but that is how easy it can be sometimes. I know people who were working at that company far longer than I was and were earning far less just because they had never asked for more money. I was not going to be one of those people. I would assess my skills and my workload every 6 months or so and ask myself if I could justify a pay rise. Your talent has value, and After you've worked for a company for a year on minimum wage, asking for a pay rise is really not an unreasonable request. Now, pay was ultimately only one of the reasons I ended up leaving that company, but when I was looking for a new job, it became apparent very fast just how underpaid I was. And then when I was negotiating my contract at my new job, I asked for a much higher amount, just to see what would happen. And they said yes, and you could literally hear my jaw hit the floor. If this is something you struggle with, I really recommend reading The Secrets of the Six-Figure Women. And I say this because, not really for figures in particular, because this was written in the 90s during like an economic boom. So take the figures with a pinch of salt, but just the sheer like chutzpah and gumption these women have is really inspiring and really good book, really good book. I hope you guys like this video. Remember to check out the rest of the GradLife series here on the UCA YouTube channel. I hope you have a lovely day and I'll see you guys around. Bye!